everybody, and welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and getting sicker. And I have to tell you, when I was digging into how to start way back in February of how to start this podcast, I went over different mutations about how to do this, what I wanted to cover, what direction I wanted to go in, and the hook that I always wanted. I came up with the where common sense still makes sense. And then I wanted to add something like it's sick out there and getting sicker, because for men, it is sick and getting sicker. I never thought that hook, it's sick out there and getting sicker, would ever mean so much. It is an absolute, it's like Candyland out there. It's so crazy. We found out this morning that a congresswoman by the name of, where is she? Minnesota Congresswoman Melissa Hortman and her husband were assassinated last night, 2 a.m. Two other political people, Polster and his wife, were injured after a madman, an absolute psychotic, posing as a police officer, shot them in what is being labeled a politically motivated attack. Now, this Minnesota state lawmaker and her husband, who were killed, are the parents of 2 children. The madman, we now know his name is Lance. Bear with me for one moment. The alleged killer, we should put alleged because he hasn't been formally charged if he gets out of this alive. But the alleged killer is 57-year-old Vance Luther Bolter. Why do all these psychopaths have 3 names? Mark David Chapman. What was the guy that killed John Wilkes Booth? They're saying that this was a political killing, and the conspiracy theory is, because we don't really know the reasoning of this, even though there were manifestos found, and all these maniacs have manifestos now. But it's believed that just 5 days before the murders occurred, Hortman faced incredible scrutiny and criticism because she voted to cut access to state benefits for illegals in the state of Minnesota. Good for homegirl. Not good that she's dead, but she did something right. She sided with the people of her state. Now, we don't know if this is the reason why she's dead, or her husband. And thank God her children were not killed. I mean, their lives are ruined by this alleged animal here, by this vermin. But as you can see, this is an FBI most wanted sign, and it has all of his pictures and what he looks like. And if you look at the third picture to the right, well, I'm sorry, there's a picture of him in a mask, in this like body armor stuff. Supposedly he was part of a security group called Praetorian Security Group, which is funny because the Praetorian Guard used to kill their emperors. Not all of them, but they've been known to kill the emperors like Nero and people like that. But this guy's wearing a mask, and he's bald, and it's a bald man, so it completely covers his face. And he posed as a policeman. When the cops got to the residence, he was walking out, and he gets into a shootout with them and flees off. So this guy, he has a military background, he has a security background. He kind of knows what he's doing here. This isn't just some random, wuss that picked up a gun, is on Prozac, and just starts shooting people. This guy planned this out. He was calculated. He knew what he was doing. Now, he is At the time of this broadcast, he is still on the loose. As I said, they found a manifesto in his car that was left behind. There was also a kill list. The list included Governor Tim Walz, Representative Ilhan Omar, that's that other nut job from Somalia, U.S. Senator Tina Smith, and Attorney General Keith Ellison. This is all according to law enforcement. But the funny part is that the media, when this first happened, were going gaga over this because they thought this was a right-wing political assassination, to their detriment and to their horror. It has come out that this guy in 2019 was a Walz appointee for the Governor Workforce Development Board. His bio is pretty much military and security guy. Now, the manhunt is underway for this guy, who authorities have said was impersonating a police officer. Now, this guy is mentally ill, obviously, to kill a woman over the way she voted. Hortman and her husband were shot and killed in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Hortman, formerly Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, was a formidable political servant, the governor of Minnesota said. She is irreplaceable, quote unquote. Now, the senator and his wife that were injured, John Hoffman, also a Democrat, and his wife Yvette, were both shot multiple times and underwent surgery. It seems like they will make it through this. But this shit is scary. The two shooting locations were only a few miles apart. And I've never been to Minnesota. I heard it used to be beautiful up there. But the first one was in Champlain, Minnesota, or the Champlain area, and then Brooklyn Park, just north of Minneapolis. Now, Hoffman and his wife were shot at their house around 2 a.m. Authorities believe that when the shooter opened fire, he was wearing a latex mask that looked realistic. That is some scary shit. After Hoffman was shot, officers were heading to proactively check on Hortman, because that's what they do. If one political person shot, they lock down all the other political people. This is when they encountered the suspect at Hortman's Brooklyn Park home around 3:35 a.m. this morning. The officers found the person that was dressed as a police officer, wearing a vest and a badge. He had a taser and other equipment, and he was standing at the door. He was coming out of Hortman's house. When the police asked him to stop and identify himself, that's when he opened fire. But this guy, we'll say the suspect, was able to escape on foot. Now, in his vehicle, which looked like a police vehicle, again, this is according to the police there, law enforcement there, it included police lights that were on in Hortman's driveway. The fact that he had the ability to have this sort of stuff, I mean, anybody can have this stuff. It just seems like anybody can have this stuff, knock on your door, say they're a cop, and just shoot you and kill you and your whole family. This is outrageous. You can't even get UPS-looking uniforms because it's illegal. How does this guy have this type of equipment to just roam around freely? Now, this guy had a list, as we said, and we named the people on the list, but the list named Hortman and Hoffman, including dozens of other Democrats. And this is where the media went crazy, because this is what they want. They want to separate, divide everybody. His list of political targets included the names of abortion providers, pro-choice activists, and several sources told ABC News many of the Democrat lawmakers on the list have been outspoken about pro-choice policy positions, which pissed this guy off. Donald Trump was briefed on this shooting, and he quoted as saying, "It's such a horrific violence will not be tolerated." Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, quote, "This horrific violence will not be tolerated, and we will be prosecuting to the full extent of the law." They're not going to find this guy alive. I just can't believe that he's going to get taken in alive. And again, this just goes to show that people are absolutely insane in this country. Absolutely insane. And now 2 children are orphaned. I think that these kids are probably older. So but still, their parents will never get to see them get married, have children of their own, and it's just horrific. Now, as we said, as of this broadcast, the manhunt is ongoing, and police are urging these community members to be cautious, stay in the house. So now this entire town is locked down. But the scary part is that police are warning the public. If an officer comes to your door, you must call 911 to confirm that officer is supposed to be there. So you can't even trust the fucking cops anymore. This is from Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, and I quote, "Police are asking that no one open the door to a lone police officer. Licensed officers are working in pairs." There was a shelter in place in Brooklyn Park, and local leaders said even though the suspect remains at large, quote, "there is a reason to believe he is no longer in the area." Can you imagine having to live like this? I mean, this world it's beyond sick. I might have to change this. It might be psychotic. All the shit that's happening today with these stupid protests, the bombings and the wars and all this useless stuff. What is all this for? What's the end game in this? It just makes you wonder what is going on through people's heads. Now, this guy here, he had children too. What are their lives like? That their father's face is splattered all over the news. This guy's face and name will be recognized in every part of this country until he's captured, dead or alive. And I think he will go. I think he's going to probably shoot it out with somebody with these guys, and then that's how he's going to get taken out. There's no way I don't believe he'll be taken in alive. I don't see that at all. But this is absolute madness right now, and in watching the news footage, Democrats have just lost their minds with this. And I just wanted to show you something else here that I thought was interesting. This is what it looked like inside of this is what they found inside of his car, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm not going to say it's funny, but let's do this. According to Dinesh D'Souza on his Twitter page or X page, these pamphlets were found in the shooter's car, and it's no Kings. This guy was no Republican. He was no fan of Donald Trump. He's no fan of GOP politics. it seems like he was pissed off. Again, I'm saying this allegedly pissed off at the fact this politician Hortman went against the servicing of illegal immigrants in Minnesota. And so he murdered 2 people. He tried to murder a whole bunch of people. Now, I don't think he would have gotten to Waltz or the Keith Ellison, the Attorney General. Those guys are under lock and key with security. These people, these local, congresswomen and congresspeople and state reps, they're just like you and I. They don't really have security. An executive for the state, if you've ever seen a governor up close like I have, they have security all over the place, day and night, 24 hours a day. No one's getting close to them unless they're on the street. But this is awful. This has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with, it's a disease in this country. It's a sickness. And I don't know how it ends, how to fix this. I mean, there are better minds than I that can't figure this out. But the only thing we can do is hope and pray. I mean, it sounds corny, but what else is there? We are lost. We are just, as a country, we're lost. Every day, and I mean every day, something is newsworthy. Something is crazy newsworthy that I can go on this podcast and bloviate for 30 minutes. Like I said, when I first started this podcast, I thought I would have maybe 2-3 shows max a week. And I was thinking I'm going to struggle to find content. I'm going to, concentrate on the stoicism and all that good stuff. But it's crazy. I've been on almost every day. Because the madness never stops. And it's not, some bullshit bodega getting robbed or, complaining about feminism or trans crap or any of that stuff. This is crazy. Politicians are getting shot cold blood in their houses by guys dressed up like cops with fake masks on that look like, it's almost like you couldn't recognize him. He looked like a completely different person. And how does he have access to all this stuff? I mean, if he has access to this stuff, then you and I have access to this stuff. Who else? What other madmen can be out there planning stuff? If they can get all these body armor and machine guns and masks that make you look totally different, guard your real appearance. I mean, this is crazy. This is just nuts. And, no matter what her politics were or her family's politics were, you pray. You pray for their souls that they end up okay. That they're not okay, but that they end up in God's hands. And you pray for those children. I think the children they're probably not children. They're probably a little older, but you just hope and that's all you can do is just pray for these people, pray for their souls, and pray for this country. Pray for the world. Because as we get into day 2, as you can see from the ticker, Israel and Iran are continuing to pummel each other into oblivion. And if you listen to American media, they make it sound like Israel is just hunky-dory, everything's okay. If you look at world media, you can take it for what it's worth. Israel is in big, big trouble here. And this is the reason why, over the last 48 hours, Israel has urged the United States to join in the war with Iran. And I told you this on the podcast last night. that Israel would urge the United States to join into this war effort. And this is courtesy of, I hope I pronounced this right, Axios. Israel urges U.S. to join war with Iran to eliminate nuclear program, and the reason why is, and I like this site because they pretty much get to the bottom of it. The reason is because Israel just don't have the capabilities of defeating Iran by themselves. According to Axios, in the big picture, Israel lacks the bunker buster bombs and large bombardment aircraft needed to destroy Iran's Fordow uranium enrichment site, which is built into a mountain and deep underground. The U.S., however, does have the capability to destroy this area. They also have the planes that can cover the distance to Iran. Now, according to Axios, again, for informational purposes, the Trump administration has so far distanced itself from Israel's operations and argued that it would be illegitimate for Iran to retaliate by striking U.S. targets. So the U.S. is basically telling Israel, according to this site, guys, at the moment you're on your own. I don't think if Israel runs out of resources and is at the mercy of their Middle Eastern neighbors, that the United States will let it fall. The GOP, a lot of them are war hawks. They're also cucks for Israel. They will urge Trump. They will force Trump into sending our men and women over there to fight. The problem is, and as we now see the media covering, the problem is that if the United States sends troops into Iran, it will be a full-fledged war. There are many people predicting that Russia will put troops in Iran, and then it's all hell will break loose. Now, again, according to Axios, directly attacking Iran, even if the U.S. involvement is limited to bombing a single site, will pull the U.S. directly into the war. And we will see an escalation that we have not seen maybe since Vietnam. And this location, the Fordow location, if I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, this is the spot. This is the spot where if Iran is making nuclear weapons, this is where they're making it. So if Fordow remains operational, Israel would have failed in its operation to eliminate the nuclear program, which is an absolute disaster for them, because now Iran is going to double time their efforts to get a nuclear bomb. And as you know, the minute you get a nuclear bomb, that's your wild card. That's your "you can't fuck with me anymore" wild card, and no more, economic or trade restraints will be put upon Iran. They are a world player now. An Israeli official claimed to Axios that the U.S. might join the operations and that President Trump even suggested he'd do so if necessary in a recent conversation with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The White House, however, denied this on Friday. A second U.S. official confirmed on Saturday that Israel has urged the Trump administration to join the war, but said currently the administration is not considering it. The reason why they're not considering it is because they know they can't win. They know this will escalate, this will go out of control, and Trump is smart enough to know that the United States public does not want to send their boys and girls over to a desert to fight another unwinnable war for a people that don't give two shits about them. Israel is not worth the blood and treasure. It just is not. I don't care what Bill O'Reilly says. I don't care what Glenn Beck says. I don't care what any of these guys like Fetterman or Rubio, I don't give a shit. Let them send their kids. Israel is not worth any more of our brothers and sisters dying over there. No more. And we know that Trump believes this. We know Trump believes this because they're still looking to negotiate peace. Again, according to Axios, we have the ability to negotiate peace, to negotiate a successful, peaceful resolution to this conflict if Iran is willing. The fastest way for Iran to accomplish peace is to give up its nuclear weapons program, a senior White House official said. And again, who's to say that they are making a nuclear weapon? I'm not saying they're not. I could listen. I may be stupid, but I may be retarded, but I'm not stupid. I'm not saying they're not. But where's the evidence that they are? I wouldn't believe a damn thing Israel says. Now, Israeli officials, again, poking the bear, have raised the idea of U.S. participation to take out Fedor with the U.S. counterparts since Israel's operation began. The Israel source said the U.S. is considering the request and stressed Israel hopes for Trump's cooperation and agreement. I don't believe that this will happen. I think that there will be such an uproar now for Trump to stay out of this that Trump won't do this. But again, I don't know. Many people believe that the Israeli lobby in the United States is the most powerful lobby in the country in all of politics. But he is a lame duck president. He doesn't have to worry about being reelected. But who knows what will happen? I can tell you today, it was reported that Trump and Putin had a little phone call. Trump posted on his Truth Social platform and basically saying that they spent the bulk of their conversation focused on Israel's ongoing attacks aimed at decapitating Iran's nuclear program. And they also discussed Iran's retaliatory strikes, which have been significant. But Trump also, according to Trump, he also pressed Putin to end the war in the Ukraine. According to President Trump, and I quote, he feels as I do the war in Israel-Iran should end, to which I explained his war should also end. Trump also added the conversation went on for about an hour. Putin's foreign affairs advisor, Yuri Ashakov, again, in different sources that I read, briefed Trump on his recent talks with the leaders of Iran and Israel and reiterated Russia's proposal to seek a mutual acceptable solution on the Iranian nuclear issue. So the Russian stance, if I'm looking into this in my, if I remember my semantic classes in college, the Russians aren't saying the Iranians can't have nuclear weapons. They're saying there should be an acceptable solution to this. Does that mean they say, hey, listen, if the Iranians agree to just build one, we're cool with that? Or if they have uranium enrichment programs for nuclear energy, we're cool with that too. Israel wants none of this. They don't want them to have any sort of nuclear capability whatsoever. And you know what? That's Israel's problem. We cannot keep fighting wars for these people over and over and over and over and over again. It's just not worth it. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're probably an anti-Semite. I don't give a shit. I'm sick of seeing this country spend blood and treasure on useless wars that don't go anywhere, that have no means to an end. And day two, the missile exchange from Israel and Iran continues. And depending on who you watch, if you're watching the United States media, they're kind of saying that Israel is, doing okay. The rest of the world, you got to figure are, reporting what they're seeing. Who knows? Who knows what the media? You can't believe anybody anymore. But they're reporting that Iran are getting the better of this, and it just makes more sense to me that if the United States isn't providing all of its resources to Israel, that Israel will soon run out of ammo, will soon run out of the capabilities to end this, and they can't accomplish what they wanted because they don't by blowing up this facility in Fordow, because they don't have the capabilities. They never had the capabilities. They're a country that has a small military that has minimal capabilities. They can kick Lebanon's ass. They could probably kick Jordan and Syria's ass, but those countries aren't military powers. They can't beat a country like Turkey. They can't go one-on-one with an Iran. They just don't have the manpower. They don't have the sophistication. They don't have what it takes to do it. That's why they have the United States as a big brother. But if Trump does not allow these bunker buster bombs into Iran, this was all for nothing. And Israel has failed. Now, we're going to see over the next couple of days or weeks whether Trump caves in this. I don't believe he will. I think he is very terrified of how Putin will react to this, because the Russians can provide as many resources to the Iranians as they want. And you don't want to see Russian troops crossing into the Iranian border to fight American troops. Now you're talking about absolute madness. Now, it would be terrifying if that would happen. And now we have to find out what the Chinese are like in this whole thing, and what the Turks are like in this whole thing. Because I can guarantee you, the Europeans, unless it's England, when the Europeans want nothing to do with this. This is spiraling out of control, and Trump has to put his foot down, and Trump has to be a man on this, and he has to say, enough's enough. I'm not going to send, you want to send resources, medical resources, food, water, medicine, all that shit, fine. But I'm not sending my people there. I'm not sending my people to die for you. All right. That's where I am on this whole thing. I wonder where you are on this whole thing. But tomorrow we'll do a little Father's Day podcast. I'm going out with the kids for breakfast tomorrow. Of course, guess who's paying? But it's always great. It's always great. We'll do a special Father's Day podcast. Again, I have man memos up the ass, but I just, it's this whole breaking news stuff is just crazy. It's wild. It's just wild. But this is a good way to get my voice out there and to vent, and hopefully you enjoy it too. And we can exchange subscriptions if you have your own channel. I'd love to check out your stuff too. All right. Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. I can't stress this enough. Be very careful out there. Satan is always, 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 always busy. He's having a field day right now. Remember to be a man. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. God bless you all. We'll see you later.